Samuel 13, verse 28, here beginneth the reading of God's holy word. Now Absalom had commanded his servants, saying, mark ye now when Amnon's heart is merry with wine. And when I say unto you, smite Amnon, then kill him. Fear not, have not I commanded you? Be courageous and be valiant. The word of the Lord for the people of God. You can take your seat. So we are on the year theme, Kingdom Defenders. Then we're on the series, The Life and Legacy of David. And today we minister from the sermon topic, Open Shame, the Drunken Crime. Open shame, the drunken cry. Open shame, the drunken cry. You know, church, I don't even want to debate this thing. I don't want to be deep about it. I just want to say here and now that drunkenness is not a good thing. It's not a good state. To be inebriated is not a pretty thing. To stagger as one walks and talking in a drooling or slurred manner is not a good thing. Now, I thought I'd better go to the internet and share some facts with you and the viewing audience. Straight from the internet. How does alcohol affect the brain? When alcohol runs its course, we immediately feel some pretty major cognitive impairment, such as slurred speech, trouble walking, blurry vision, slow reaction times, and difficulty with our memory. This is because alcohol slurs communication in the brain and acts as a depressant to the central nervous system. It impacts the movement between the neurons and neurotransmitters, which are the command center for all major functions of the body, including breathing, speech, thought, and movement. What areas of the brain are affected by alcohol? There are several regions of the brain that can be affected while consuming alcohol, including the cerebellum, the cerebral cortex, brain tissue, and the limbic systems, your limbs. Alcohol consumption can lead to severe damage in these parts of the brain, which subsequently leads to multiple issues such as short-term memory loss, decreased brain cells, depression, mood changes, poor sleep, and alcohol dependency. So I went to another website. Let me just get some more help around here today. So you just don't think Siemens just talking from her head. So the truth about what alcohol does to your body. When someone starts out drinking, he or she feels relaxed, confident, happy, sociable. The pleasurable effects of alcohol are undeniable. It makes it easy to forget about the negative effects. Slurred reflexes, reduced coordination, warped thinking, poor judgment, impaired memory, impaired motor functions, and plenty more impairments. These negative effects occur every single time one drinks even one single beer. The more one drinks, the stronger these negative effects. Those pleasurable effects will begin to fade quickly. Over time, the body becomes damaged from drinking, more damage than you probably know. In fact, alcohol can cause several types of cancer. Now, aside from bodily harm, alcohol use has been linked to depression, anxiety, societal withdrawal, violent behavior, an increase in unprotected sex, an increase of motor vehicle accidents, suicide, injury, domestic violence, and even drowning. And I don't know why they like to sing that song, Bermudians Love to Drink. Because they may say, well, they like to drink, but nobody wants the results of the drinking. Let me finish this here. As if that's not enough, alcohol does unbelievable damage to the body, not just to the liver and the brain. Virtually every part of the body is affected negatively from excessive drinking. That's like saying, when you have somebody drinking in Bermuda and they ride on the road, everybody that comes in their pathway, there is a risk there. The devil wants you out of control. Church, I could go on and on. Bottom line is that if you drink alcohol, there is the possibility of consequences you never bargained for. When you drink alcohol and you feel nice, that nice feeling is also an indication that your body chemistry has changed your mood and your mind, and that you have escaped that mood for now, and your thinking is different for now. You cannot reason with a drunk person. Did you hear all that information I just read? You tell them they can't swim. I'm been swimming since I know. You say, don't go up. I'm Bermudian. I've been in the water. Ever since Poppy was a pop. Been. There's something that goes wrong in your brain when you drink alcohol. But I can't tell you that because something's wrong with your brain. And this is one of my favorite words as a biologist. The neurotransmitters of the brain are literally not working near their optimum level. They cannot understand the person. They cannot understand you in the normal way. Well, as we look at today's text, I will say this, that while being drunk is not at all wise or wonderful, taking advantage of another person while they're drunk, that's no good. Let's look at the text today as we deal with the following 3 points. Point number 1, flashback. Flashback. Point number 2, flash back. Flash back. And point number 3, flash back, flash forward. Flash back, flash forward. You may try to say you don't want to do it, but when that alcohol, okay, well, let's deal with this. Point number 1, flashback. Verse 21. But when David heard all of these things, he was very wroth. King David hears that he's very wroth. Church, remember the biblical rule of the but. It cancels out the result of the previous state. Well, what was the previous statement? In the previous verse, verse 20, the previous verse said that Absalom, his name means peace, and he was peaceful. But the next verse says that David was very angry. Listen. When you and your peaceful self, hear me, begin to hang around angry people, you can become as they are. Yes. David is not just wroth, he is very wroth. Let's look at the word wrath and see what it means here in the Hebrew wrath. It comes from the word chara, to be hot, furious, burn, become angry, be kindled. This obtuse anger from King David opened up a door, a gate for his son, Mr. Peace, to now walk into another place. He had held his peace, but he just got authority from his father to now walk in being very angry. This moment, it released something that was quiet within him. Be careful when people go through things, but they don't react. It's just quiet within them. When they do react, my. It gave Absalom permission to walk in anger. Now, what we must also see here is that David is angry about something when he himself had done that something. He took Bathsheba. So what if it worked out in the end? The beginning of the thing is the seed. And when David took Bathsheba, he planted a seed of taking a woman without permission. Planted. Takes me to point 2. I don't get happy because point 3 is a marathon. Point 2. Flash back. Verse 22. And Absalom spake unto his brother Amnon. Look at this. Neither good nor bad. For Absalom hated. You got to get that. He hates him. But he ain't saying nothing. So they hate. It's in there. He hated Amnon because he had forced his sister Tamar. The word hate comes from the word sane. And it means a personal hate. It means this is personal. This is at a level. Enemy, foe. The storm, be careful of the storms within. The storm within Absalom was silently raging. The tempest within the heart of Absalom was a ticking time bomb awaiting the day of explosion. Unsettled situations sit. They just sit. They just sit. And then the person does something one day, you're like, where did that come from? It was sitting. Oh, Shama. It was sitting in them all that time. But I thought they were all right. It was sitting in there. You're surprised because it looks like they just went and did it. No, been sitting in them. Absalom's flesh has been held back. Flash back. Well, until the next verse takes me to point 3. I see you, Dr. Woods. I see you. You ought to give me the side eye because this can be a long 3. Point 3, flashback, flash forward. 23. And it came to pass, look how much time. After 2 full years that Absalom had sheep shearers in Baal Hazor, which is beside Ephraim, and Absalom invited all the king's sons. So once again, I'm trying to tell you, church, time has ticked on. But everything is about timing. It's a matter of time. If you don't deal, hear me, with situations when they occur, you know I got that type of rule. I don't take a situation into the next Sunday. If I've got to meet with people, whatever, we got to get it clear. Because God's presence deserves such a sincere person. And so it's dangerous when you just allow time to tick on and you never deal with, it's going to show up. Matter of fact, I just heard it. This is cute. It's going to be pokey. It's going to show up where it shouldn't. It's going to show up when it shouldn't. Because you didn't deal with it in the beginning. Church, deal with whatever issue when the issue is at its lower phase. Time ticks on. For the past 2 years, that's 24 months. That's 104 weeks. That's 730 days. Absalom had been hating his brother, avoiding his brother, hardly saying anything to his brother. You know, when he would see his brother, you know, right? Yeah, your family, same father, but you see each other, right? See, that's why I like to fellowship a little bit after church. I want to see who is truly knitted as family, or who has to take off, who has to escape. It says something. Just thought I would say that. Church, with each passing day, the relationship between these brothers is breaking down further and further. And guess what? Amnon didn't even know it. He had no clue that he had ignited a bomb that was going to be set off in a moment of time. The gate of very wrath of King David has given permission for this hate. And now the hate will yield hateful results. 2 years. Do you know what that means? That when he will wake up, know that he was covering his sister Tamar. Tamar, every day he would see Tamar. How you doing, sis? How you feeling, sis? You know, what you mean you still don't think you're worthy? You don't want to go out and go with your other siblings and go with your girlfriends and just relax. Every day that stirred up something within Absalom. Lots of thinking, lots of thoughts going through the mind of Absalom. Lots of planning of the revenge for what Amnon did to his sister Tamar. After 2 years, Absalom has come up with a plan. And the plan begins with an invitation. You better watch who you get an invitation from. Some people are so excited to just receive an invitation, and they have no idea that that invitation is a trap, that that invitation is to stop you from your purpose, your destiny, that that invitation has not come from God himself. Be very careful of who invites you into their presence. What is their motive? He sets up a situation whereby he invites his brothers. So you've got to be careful that your invitation to a place is not a set up to trap you in a space. They just want you there. Currently, Absalom, listen to this, has sheep shearers in Baal-Hazor, which is beside Ephraim. Now let's understand, this is very powerful, very powerful. Absalom, don't miss it, has a sheep farm with many sheep in Baal-Hazor. Absalom invites all of his brothers to his sheep farm. All of his brothers to his sheep farm. I'm going sorry. When I say it, you're going to be like, ow. Now, Baal-Hazor is next to Ephraim. Ephraim means double ash heap, or I shall be doubly fruitful. Absalom wants his brothers there for more than seeing his wealth in sheep. It's a double heap. No, this was a double fruitful place because he wanted his brother Amnon there for another reason. Church, I don't want you to miss a strain of commonality here. Pay attention, here it is. This got me and sweetened my soul this week. Watch this. Nathan, the prophet, had talked about the ewe lamb being taken from Uriah. Amnon took Tamar, who was another ewe lamb. So Absalom is about to bring Amnon around a whole bunch of sheep. Let me help you out. In other words, it's saying, yeah, you could have had any sheep. You could have had any sheep, any ewe lamb, and you took your sister. Isn't that what Nathan said to David? Nathan the prophet said, no, this is what God said. I would have given you this and thus. I would have given you anything you want. Yet you went for the one thing that you should have never had. And here it is, history repeating itself. That Absalom says, yeah, I'm going to bring him right in my presence and his sheep all over the place. Because at the end of this, he's going to understand, you could have had any one of these sheep. It's the analogy. And you took the one that you should have never taken. In other words, in this way, Absalom is repeating the rebuke, the same rebuke that Nathan the prophet spoke to his own father. Absalom is saying here that Amnon could have any sheep, and yet he took Tamar, a ewe lamb, innocent ewe lamb. No children, was a virgin. He took her. And since he did that, Absalom will now destroy Amnon among his flock. A sheep shearing feast is a grand occasion. That's what's happening. All the sheep, all the sheep have come to full maturity. They have a whole pile of wool. You shave off that wool, you get money. And he's going to bring his brother into all the wealth of the land and kill him. Because he had all the wealth of Tamar in his house and he killed her spirit. And And so a sheep sharing feast, once they bowl, you invite people in. A sheep sharing feast is a grand occasion in the East. It's when the owners of the land and the owners of the sheep, they hire others to share the sheep. It's a huge event. Absalom invites his father and his brothers. His father considers the expense of going and forgoes the invitation. He says, no, that's a bit much. I don't want to put the expense on you. King David, the father, does give direct permission for Amnon to go. Now, you got to understand, the son Absalom wants divine approval. And so he goes to his father. He said, I want all my brothers to come. Oh, Amnon's coming too, right? Amnon. Because he wants his father to release a word. Because it was the, oh, Lord Jesus, here, catch this, church. Because it was the father that released the word for who? For Tamar to make cakes in front of the brother that was playing sick. Huh? And so this tells us how well Absalom even has hidden his hate against his brother. For the 2 years, David, King David, the father, does not even see the harm in Amnon going to Absalom's place. So church, keep in mind that Absalom knows how to hide his true feelings and his true intent. Wow. This should remind us of King David acting nice to Uriah while he was arranging for him to sleep with his already pregnant wife, or while King David was talking nice to him in front of his face while handing him his own murder letter, assassination letter to give to Joab. Everything you see Absalom do, wow, you might say that he is a chip off the old block. Chip off the block. 28, now Absalom had commanded his servants, saying, mark ye now, when Amnon's heart is merry with wine. And when I say unto you, smite Amnon, then kill him, and fear not. Have not I commanded you? See, you got authority now. Be courageous, it's his house, and be valiant. Church, anytime you reach a bar, Lord have mercy, there are some pre-conditioned things that are going to happen. There's a bartender. There will always be someone who is willing to sell you to your death. All right? And guess what? You tip them. You, whoever will be at this bar, you're going to partake of red square and, Bermudians, black rum. 80 proof. I'll tell you what's 80 proof. I'll tell you what's 100 proof. 100 proof is they're going to get your money and you're going to destroy some brain cells. St. Clair. Oh, give them all nice names. Anytime you reach a scene where there is availability of a substance that will distort your brain, distort the way that you think, and actually have you thinking you're in control when you're not, you're in a dangerous place. Now let me move it from this bar. Listen. The bar could be a kitchen table with hot cross buns. Because sometimes we are enamored by the presence of certain people. And so it doesn't have to be natural alcohol, but it can be a substance that takes a hold of your mind so that your thinking is not your own thinking, it's another person's thinking. Be careful of the bar scene. A shot, you all teach me, that's why I know now. What's this, see, wine? What's this? Champagne, see, they got to teach me. This is what do you want? A rock glass. Well, you know why it's called a rock glass? I just got divine insight. By the time you drink this food, you should be hitting the rock Bermuda. How are you going to stay on your feet Watch this, watch this. How are you going to stay on your feet when you allow a foreign substance into your body? How will you control yourself when you yield yourself to a substance to take authority over your mind? Every time you drink, then you sober up, you regret what you did when you were drunk. The three-car collision, the driving, hitting walls, I go around harbor. Okay, let me give you advice. If you're going to drink and drive, you can't do harbor road. Sober people have an issue with harbor road. You know, it's a certain bump. I know where some of them are deterring. You can see it. The road's not smooth. You got a bump and it takes you that way. You can't control yourself. You know, listen, you should do a survey. How many people have died on harbor road? You can't be making nips and avoiding walls on harbor road. People want to get you to their own bar where they're in control. The liquor's flowing. It's a party scene. It's all free. It's on the house. Lord have mercy. That's a favorite. Somebody say on the house. Everybody come in like they're right related to you. It's on the house. Ring that bell. See? I heard that. You see? They weren't always sanctified. I'm thinking ring that bell. It's recess and it's over. But no. They've only just begun. Set it up. Let it flow. What else? Line them up. Bottoms up. That means it's going to be empty. But I'm hoping you're getting it. The devil wants to empty you of the perfect will of God. And this is what's happening in this bar scene. Absalom just wants Amnon to get happy. Get him drunk. Because it doesn't matter, listen, it doesn't matter how skillful he is as a soldier. It doesn't matter how skillful he is with the sword. When alcohol enters the system, you have no more proficiency in whatever you used to do. So if you were a thinker, if you were an artist, whatever it is, when alcohol gets in your system, you can't do drunk what you used to do sober. The more you partake of the substances found at the bar, the less you will be able to have control over your life. That's why the Bible wants us sober and vigilant. Because your adversary, the devil, what? Like a roaring lion, seeks whom he will devour. And so the more you spend time at the bar, the less you will have. Less money, less dignity, less control of your faculties, less control of a vehicle, less control of how you think. So here we see that Absalom wants Amnon drunk. I'm so glad we don't believe in drinking any alcohol or wine at this church. But I know some of you are thinking back in the day. I ain't looking at nobody. What they do, because they want you at the bar. Ladies' night. That's usually Thursday night, I think it was. I used to hear on the radio commercial. Ladies' night. Oh, what a night. Some of them won't remember what they did during the night. But look. Party here. I see you guys. I can read lips sometimes. Party here, party there, everywhere. Who sang that? Earth, Wind, and Fire? Who? Kool and the Gang. I knew they would know. Because all you've got to do, ladies' night, then what they call it, happy hour. That's usually Friday night. Start. I'm thinking, Deacon Nene, I'm listening to the tea, because I'm hearing this on Sherry J. You know, oh, it's ladies' night, or what they call happy hour. I'm thinking the real dodo birds, they want to get good and a little bit tipsy on happy hour, so they'll stay for the next hour and the next hour and the next hour, because that's when you got to spend the money. They'll give you the free first hour. I'm listening to the commercial. And then I'm like, ladies night, so what? Where's the man? Oh, the man wants you girls drunk. See, you the woman. That's why I got to, Absalom wants Amnon drunk. So let me take you back to when David wanted Uriah drunk. 2 Samuel 11 and 13, and when David had called him, he did eat and drink before him, and he made him drunk. And at even when he went out to lie on his bed with the servants of his Lord, but he went not down to his house. David tried to get Uriah drunk. So the seed has been planted, and Absalom uses the same method to bring about the results he wanted. David wanted Uriah to lose control through the alcohol, and here Absalom wants to control Amnon through alcohol. I'm going to be vigilant. I'm going to be sober. Just like David will get someone to do his dirty work, so will Absalom. 28 begins this. Now Absalom had commanded his servants. Absalom commands his servants. Absalom will command those under his charge to do the deed. This mentality has come forth from the seed of his father, who commanded Joab to get his soldiers to kill Uriah. Let's look at the command of David to Joab to kill Uriah, 2 Samuel 11 and 15. And he wrote in a letter saying, set ye Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle and retire from him, that he may be smitten and die. Now look at Absalom's instructions for this murder. 28. Mark ye now when Amnon's heart is merry with wine. And when I say unto you, smite him, then kill him. Fear not. Have I not commanded you? Didn't I tell you what to do? Be courageous and be valiant. A similar pattern. Place him in a weak place and then kill him. Somebody missed it right there. The enemy just wants you in a weak place. See, this is obvious. This is obvious. The weak place is the bar. But sometimes the weak place, your mind, your heart, with that particular negative person. The enemy just wants you off your game. Doesn't want you alert. Because usually you're a sharp shooter. Usually you can take out the enemy. But if he can get you to weaken your game, if he can get you off task, if he can make you feel real, everything's safe. Ain't nothing safe in no 21st century. Are you kidding me? You got to stay sober. So here we have the pattern, similar pattern. Make him weak in the battle, withdraw from him. The weak place for Amnon. Place him at the bar. His weak place wasn't at the battlefield. He would have been strong there. Place him at the bar. I don't know what your weak place is. Could be that package of cigarettes. Could be that weed. What's the weak place that weakens you? Could be that man. Could be that woman. It's all the same thing. It's all the same bar. Just like there are different brands of alcohol, liquor, wine, whatever. There are different ways the enemy seeks to get control over you. And let me give you some advice that I followed at least since age 7. I know my weak place, and I strengthen my weak places. I gird up my loins. Come on now. I understand I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord, and I've got to be well aware of the tactics of the enemy. You've got to be alert, because if not, the enemy will take you out and think that they've been given permission by God to take you out. And so he places him at the bar. And this is it right here. Look. smite them, kill them. So in other words, knock them off. Ain't gonna be hard to knock them off, isn't it? Knock them down, because it's already drunk. Let me, as your pastor, advise you. Don't get drunk in your own emotions. Don't get drunk in your own feelings. Well, she said, he said, well, pastor said, you're drunk. And at that time, all it takes is one word, and you're right off the bar stool. And then somebody going to come and say, what's the matter? Well, someone say, really? And the moment that they agree with you, they just killed you. Smite them. Kill them. Oh, by the way, don't fear. Have no fear. This is no big thing. Be courageous. Be valiant. There is an enemy of our soul. And this is why we've got to have strong Christians. This is why we've got to have people that know how to worship, know what God's presence is like. Because in his presence, there's the strength of joy. In his presence, I'll look for no other type of alcohol, no type of substance, listen, I'm good on my own. I'll look for no other company. You're not providing me with my joy. You're not providing me with my strength. I don't need you to have my mind and try to coax me to do A or coax me to do B. No, 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 no. I've been empowered by the Holy Spirit. Yet because we have Amnon here who has a weakness. What is your weakness? This is obvious. None of you, nobody in Shekinah Worship Center with a quarter brain, especially with social media, and a pastor who is social media pastor, please. Ain't nobody going to go up in a bar. Nobody going to go drink. Because I will deal with you. But what's going on in your heart? There's some things I can see. I can easily see this. You come up to me with this, we're going to have a conversation. However, what's stronger than this is how is your heart? How are you thinking? How are you feeling towards the things that God is allowing to unfold? Not everything is going to make you happy, but do you understand that God is sovereign in your life? Do you understand that nothing takes God by surprise? That you can't experience anything that God hasn't already made an end thereof? So look how wrong this is, yet it's made to be honorable. Why? Because the leader gave permission. When a leader gives permission and says it's okay, then that means permission is given through the whole house. I'm not going to permit certain No, I'm not going to permit certain things. You can't go to a bar. You can't sing and play instruments and sing love songs and get them to get the groove on in a club and then come up here and try to get the Shekinah. There ain't no Shekinah. That's another kind of. That's another spirit. And ooh, I just heard this in the Holy Ghost. I know. I got to demonstrate it. I hope this is water in here. It's real? Oh, Jesus, thank you. Okay, but let me tell you what I just heard. Well, you know, let me tell you what I'm telling you. This, I never seen it. Holy Spirit just told me that in the house of God, they're mixing their drinks. Huh? That's what he just told me. He said, no longer is there pure worship. Oh, my God, I got to take my time with this. He said, no longer can I identify that's my child. Well, one day they want me, then they want the club, then they say I am their provider, then they say I got to play music in the club because I need money. You're tainted. I may be the only pastor that's going to say it in the island of Bermuda, but I'm going to tell you I believe God's word. And that if I worship him, if I honor him, if I yield my life to him, he'll meet my every need. That I won't have to do anything that does not become the kingdom of God in order to live. We're going to be a people of faith or not. That's what God just said. My God, he said they're mixing drinks. Now the spirit is another spirit. I'm on no shade. And so here, church, when leaders congratulate a wrong, the wrong is now made or masked as a right. If I permit it, then the next generation said, oh, that's all right. And the next generation said, oh, that's. So now I've got I'm going to say it, I've got churches that grew up Pentecost, grew up Holy Ghost filled, grew up with an anointing, grew up so that the world knew that we were different. And now we look more like the world. We sound like the world. We dress like the world. You're mixing your drinks. Holiness. That's what God's looking for. You know, I don't apologize for the Holy Ghost that it's a little bit tough. We come into the presence not of Queen Elizabeth, of God. So we got to pay attention about the leadership. And you need to protect your own life and do the right thing. This we can do in the 21st century. During this day, they would have to obey their leader. That's what I want to say. The ones that are going to kill Amnon, I've been watching historical shows. It was like, we will obey you, king, or we will go under the guillotine. And so this is not something they would even do. Thank you, Holy Ghost. They would do with joy. That's why he tells them that's right, and beat. Because it's not naturally something they want to do. But they know they've got to obey the king. Got to obey the pastor. So this murderous plot is carried out and committed, and Amnon, the rapist, is dead. Sadly, this is why David could not build God's temple. His hands were too bloody, full of blood. His hands had given rise to sons with hands like his. How can you have a father and a son in prison? Bloody hands. How can you have sons who don't even know the father end up doing the same things? It's the bloodline. 29. And the servants of Absalom did unto Amnon as Absalom had commanded. Then all the king's sons arose, and every man get him up upon his mule and fled. I'm going to say this right here. That's how well Absalom hid it. They didn't even understand, oh no, Absalom is only killing Amnon because of the rape. They're like, what? He's killing brothers. Let's get out of here. The other sons flee the scene of the crime. They flee for their lives. They fear for their lives. Interesting. They did not know or get it that Absalom only wanted the life of Amnon, who took the life from Tamar. She's alive, but she has no life. She's alive, but she'll never be a wife. She's alive, but she'll never have children. She's alive, but dead. And so the brothers, they didn't know what Absalom was thinking. Why not? Different mothers. You know when a man has children by different women? Now, back in the day, in the 70s, 80s, you would hear things like, and when you see her and her children, don't speak. Sometimes you don't find out who you're related to and who your daddy is to the funeral. Then all of a sudden you look and say, oh my gosh, I do look like that family. All this happen because of connections, because there are different mothers involved. You know, unless you're the number one mother, the one he's sleeping with every night, you're going to have an issue. Issue in your tissue. And so hear me here as I conclude this part of the story today. They're different because they have different mothers, different levels of care for each other. Without forgiveness, the sins will continue on from one generation to another. I beg of you, let it go. Let it die. Don't keep living and keeping it alive. Whatever you have, God has a future for you. Stop bringing. Because the blood will just continue to be shed. Take this one out. Take that one out. I recommend forgiveness, director. For forgiveness entrusts the favor of God to your life. I recommend forgiveness because forgiveness sets up a new paradigm shift for what has gone on in the past. Forgiveness now sets your seed free. It sets the next generation free. And so, church, here's my question today. I don't need to know the situation because you know the situation. If you say, Pastor, such and such has gone on in my past, and you know what? I can conclude today. I'm still ticked off about it. Woo! Every once in a while, it just shows up. Pastor, I don't want that past thing, situation, whatever, to influence my present or my future. I want you to, we're going to have one prayer for this. I want you to stand to your feet where you are right now. And see, you know, I don't even know personal, but you do know. And the best thing is to get this thing clean now. Because you've got a future in front of you. And the past doesn't deserve my future. I just heard that in the Holy Ghost. The past does not deserve my future. I won't color and shade my future based on what I've gone through. Tomorrow's a new day. And I'm going to tell you, we've been experiencing this since the new year. There's a fresh wind blowing at Shekinah. Yes, it is. There's a fresh wind blowing. Yes, it is. I don't want you to miss it. I don't want you to miss it because of real hurt and real pain. Now let me say this as a responsible shepherd. If you have a past pain, hurt that you feel you need to talk about to release fully, that's where your pastor is available for counseling, and the elders and the deacon board, primarily your pastor. Because we just need to just let it go. Because there's a liberty in the Holy Spirit.